On the arcade today, we have the best controller keybinds and console settings for Fortnite, so you can hit shots like this, help improve your gameplay overall, so stay tuned. What's good, YouTube, and welcome to the arcade. Today on NSG we have best console settings and controller keybinds for building, editing, and aiming, and just overall improving your gameplay. So I'm going to go through the menu system step by step, break down what I have found to be the best. So let's get right into it. Sensitivities. There are 5 sensitivities. The X and Y are the horizontal and vertical, and I keep those around 0.6. Even with the building sensitivity feature, I find it hard to turn on players in close quarter shotgun fights. I find this to be best. It's right in the middle. It's not super low, it's not super high. To compensate for this, we have targeting sensitivity right below the Y there. That controls non-scope guns while they're aiming down sights. I have that rather low at a 0.30 so I can be precise at mid to long range. And since I have the high hipfire sensitivity at 0.6, this is a good contradiction. You can spin fast, but at a distance you're going to be a little more precise. Next is the scope sensitivity, and I have that at a 0.5. If you have this any lower, you're not going to be able to track players that are running. These next features quickly. Sprint cancels reloading. This is, if you have this off, picture this. You're trying to reload, but you cannot stop. You need to be able to cancel your reload somehow. I know there's other ways, but sprint cancels reloading is what I've always used. Below there we have tap to search or interact. This is when you're healing, especially I use this. It's a lot easier than having to hold down the trigger button or whatever button the whole time. And if you're healing in the storm and your finger slips off of the trigger, you know, right as you're about to put on that med kit or whatever, you know how those can be. Toggle targeting, don't mess with this. You know, this is when you would click it and then it would stay ADS. Terrible. Reset your building choice, so every time you start building you have your wall up, very important. If you haven't done that, you got to switch that. Aim assist obviously is going to be on. For that, I actually went right by the building sensitivity. I have it a 1.2 multiplier that just multiplies your X sensitivity, so I think that's pretty good. This makes it so I've had it at double, which is a 2.0, and it is like insane. It's too fast, especially with turbo building, which is where we're at now. Turbo building on. So this is super important for your quick builds, quick 1x1 spinning around, or definitely the drop down technique where you use wall ramp to get down from a high build. Auto change material, of course. This is an old feature. You know, you don't have to manually switch from brick to metal. Quite obvious. Keep that on. Controller auto run. I've heard a lot of people saying this is the new way. I find that terrible. I can't use it. Auto open doors. Never mess with it. I don't want to walk up to a door I don't want to have it automatically open. Just like auto pick up weapons. Not for me. Sometimes I don't want to fill my slots with a random weapon that might just throw me off. I don't want like 4 gray pistols. Thank you. Next, auto sort consumables to the right. Definitely a must. For me, I always keep my healing all the way to the right, minus 1 slot. So all the way to the right and then 1 slot. So I can have my sniper or whatever power weapon down on that end slot. And controller edit time, a new feature. I have that pretty low, but when it's all the way low, it messes me up when I'm trying to switch between my building. I just want to build maybe, so I turn on my build, but then it edits. So I have that at a 0.15, so I have to just hold it for a second. Now, to keybinds. Okay, so my combat controls are pretty standard as to Builder Pro, the newest edition there. Everything, this is just your normal aim down sights, next weapon, etc., right? Jump on the X pad, that's just how I have it. I don't have a sculpt controller, so, and this is the way I like it. crouch on R3. Now, the most important one though is the building controls. The building controls I have set up pretty different than anybody else. See here, these are your building, you have your stairs, etc. just to place, and we have it turned on to place immediately. But the key here is the only thing I have on R3 is crouch and repair. I have this habit in a situation of panicking of pressing down on R3. I just couldn't have it on my rotate button. I couldn't have it as my trap. So I have my trap back to the OG spot, trap picker on square. I have my edit mode on circle, jump on. These are all pretty standard, right? My rotate is left on the D-pad. What I do is a left-handed claw per se, where I reach my index finger over and use the D-pad. You guys should really try that as well. If you guys have any tips, or if you think this whole setup is trash, leave it in the comments below. Really appreciate it if you guys subscribe, hit that like button, join the notification squad, the arcade army, follow me on Twitter and all that stuff. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.